Okay, hello friends, Warhawks. Sorry for the delay. Ended up having to do a cheeky little restart. So first things first, how's the audio quality? I did a little bit of unplugging, tweaking. It should be better. I think the levels are well and truly messed up. So I'm just going to check in. Let's have a look. I'm just having a look in Xpilot to make sure that's okay. It's okay. Anyway, you find us here. Hopefully the sound is better. Let me know if it's too loud and I can turn it down. You find us here again at a very sunny Severe Cavoke Northolt. This is my own tweak of the scenery, which actually hasn't only really consisted of deleting stuff. I've put an exclusion over there to get rid of those trees that caused us grief last time, and there should be an exclusion over there. So in reality, there are trees here, but I don't think they are that high, as you can see from the ortho, and of course all of it completely full up. So I did a little bit of tweaking with that. That hangar's a bit too big, but it's the only one with a domed roof. So I'm going to do some work along there. I put down every variety of caravan that they have just to check them out. There should be some caravans here, as you can see from the ortho. I've got quite a bit of work to do, but what I have done is started to make a little bit of a base for the terminal. The terminal is actually bigger than that. The hangar is not particularly accurate. The light stanchion should be roughly in the right place. So I think the hangar will need a little bit of work, but it's certainly better than it was, and it's a bit more realistic. Certainly roughly that size, and height-wise, probably not far off correct, just I think colour. And the terminal, that's about as best as I could get for the facade. I've got to do, but the options that the X-Plane scenery gives you are actually really. I put some lights down. They're not perfect, so I might have to use these fake-ish ones to light the pan at night. It doesn't really give off enough light, but it was better than nothing. So yeah, there's a lot of work, and I want to get it up to scratch and then get it on the gateway. Anyway, let's get going. Warhawks, I hope you're well, and anybody else that's watching, hi and thanks for joining. So we're off to Gloucester. No other reason than I fancied it. I don't think you can get a 7.3 in there. You might be able to. But it's where I did my qualifying cross country. Yep. And I just fancied doing it. Just tweaking the noise gate a little bit to make sure that it's picking me up, because I think it dropped off a little bit there. Like I say, guys, let me know, has the crackling gone? So that's the noise gate, about as good as I can get it, I think. Okay. Anyway, I haven't even loaded the airplane up yet. So, passenger doors open, baggage is open off. We didn't have this much fuel yesterday, and actually, we need 797, so level that out. 806, that'll do. We're only going to have 2 packs for the positioning trip. Let's imagine we had one. I believe the zero fuel weight should include the 2 grub front, but we're going to assume that there's one packs and somebody along for the jolly as well with no cargo. So that should give us a payload 258. Maybe I do need to include the pilot, passengers, and luggage in that. I'm still not quite sure about exactly how they've modelled the weights in this. Certainly to me, the zero fuel weight of this aircraft, I suppose it's a light aircraft, so would it not include everyone? Anyway, we'll leave it. I'm just going to leave it at that, because that's an empty mass, isn't it? Right, okay, I'm going to have to tweak my weights, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to include 2 or 3 crew, 1 cabin crew member, 2 pilots, and figure it out. Yeah, okay, so as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. So we don't need to refuel. It defaulted to for 800, 806, and we need 797. That's a trip of 255, 5-minute contingency to Fairford, alternate Bryce 15 minutes, and final reserve 200 kilos of 30 minutes with an extra 15 minutes. So that's what we've got on board today. Why don't we use the ground power unit? Save the batteries, certainly seen as we've got power here. And let's get the aeroplane powered up. Now I've got that set to a button which I don't really need. The bus tie is set to auto. As soon as we're on AC, I'm going to put the nav lights on, which I've just done. We will hide the yoke for the moment. So,
system test okay.
System test okay. Let's have a look at the electrics. 28.5. 28 coming out of the GPU. Where's the other battery? There it is, 28.5. 27. Lead panel ECS off. Mode auto. Get the fans up. Hydraulic pumps. I'll leave those off for the moment. Pneumatics will leave off for the moment as well. Let's do the tests.
Fire. 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 Fire.
As for the baggage, test the annunciators. No one back there, no. They all work. Have a look at the stall protection.
Stall.
Stick pusher works.
Stall.
There we go, I'm not going to do the ice protection. So, pumps off, fuel pumps auto, crossfeed is off. We're not fueling, so the belts I'll pop on in a moment, I'll leave them off in a moment. Windshield's off, probes auto, ice protection is off, stand on. Actually do the lights check in and walk around. Missions to auto, throttles full and free, air brake switch works, parking brake is there. Flaps 0 and agree. And up to the top, nav lights are on, cabins off, emergency lighting's on, auto, as we can check the ELT. And that's us. So VATSIM is no centre, Gatwick approach is on, they won't want to talk to us, Heathrow Tower's on, they won't want to talk to us either. We're still on yesterday's 11972 for Heathrow approaches on active, I think, yeah. So that's pretty much it. We've got, like I said, 806 on board. What was our zero fuel? What did I say that we had? Our weights out. I'm just scribbling these down. So we've got 806, 515 on the payload. And our empty weight is 550. Sorry, 5.5, 5.5. So our zero fuel is 6015. 806 on the fuel. And what is our estimated trip? It's 255. And that's a taxi including 54, not really 15 minutes for taxi. And our reserve is 200 plus 116. 316 alternate and final reserve. I've changed the flight plan format, so of course that is confusing me. We'll estimate a landing of 6. Estimated landing weight of 6246. I think that is a bit wrong. Oh yeah, because our weights are higher, aren't they? So just adding these up. So call it 6566 estimated, just because I'm going to do that now. Having a look at the performance, takeoff data, do the V speeds. So here you go, pressure altitude minus 300 today, and the air temperature is 16 degrees. So takeoff data, right, so flap 1, I've got to try and figure out somewhere to write this down now as well. Right, okay, takeoff data, so flap 1, pressure altitude of 0, and then I'm going to use 50 instead of 60, it's close enough. We think 6.8. It's going to be less than that, but that's good enough for interpolation. So flap 1, 841 meters, 103, 115, 125. Let's pop those in. .103, 115, 125, V2 plus 10. So let's set that before I forget. I know it will change, but it is a good reminder. Landing, we estimated 6.5, and we'll go. Gloucester's, I think, got quite a long runway, almost 5,000 feet. Probably be 09, so we don't want to stand on the brakes. Flap 1, dry runway, ice protection off. And these are still takeoff tables, yes. Do need to print off the graph that somebody's done on the forums, which is really useful, much quicker than using the tables. At some point I'll probably print these off as well. Right, here we go, approach data. Flap 1, flap 3, ice protection off. Let's get it the right way around. So VAC, VREF, we said 6.6, I'll definitely take that. So flap 1, flap 3 approach. 6.6 gives us 112, 109 and 123. You have to write them the other way round. So VAC 112, VFS 123, VREF 109. Good, so that's the speeds done at least. And do we have the distances? 0.66. The elevation is 101, so that's going to be 0 today at least. It's going to give us 743 meters. I can guarantee that I am not going to make the landing in that, but we'll have a look and see where we end up rolling out. So let's get the punters in, sat down. So departure, there's still nobody to talk to, so that's fine. The top out is 5,000. 5.1 set because we've been cleared. Transponder code 2000 is set. And we'll have the conventional nav aids on, so we are going to an NDB. Can't do that. Then to Henton, again, can't do that. Then Compton 1435, which is set and tuned. Inbound to Gloucester again, NDB only, and there is nothing. There is literally nothing. There are no stars or anything, so we're just going to be going direct. So with that in mind, 806 on the fuel. Status, baggage, I tell you what, we can close that, can't we? Let's get rid of the static elements. Close the baggage door. And let's think about, there we go, that's the right one. Doing our flight plan. So we are off to Compton. So I would love to get some hardware to do this. I know that RealSim Gear do it, but it's not cheap, and it's also not that easy to get hold of in the UK, or Europe I should say. So we are off to Compton. CPT. Then Quebec 63. To MALBY, which you'll be familiar with from Concorde. And then MALBY will be direct to Echo Golf Bravo Juliet Gloucester Staverton. Not much, mate, not much, just me running through the checks, running through the performance, not on screen, and just doing the V speeds. So you have missed nothing. Now I think it's going to be 09 on arrival, so load. There's no arrival, but I will load the approach, and it's going to be RP for 09er. And that's probably going to be via SOSAB. There we go. Just because we are going to be over here somewhere, and that'll just take us in a bit more of an elegant fashion for an intercept, I think. Back and then a hold is what we should see. Minimums are 480 for LNAV with a just approach climb gradient of 3.2. So this should be LNAV plus V, I think. This FMC. we're going to go 480. Oh, of course you can't do it like that. That's an primary frequency, fine. And what I do want to see 3. SOSAB, yes. That's right, India, 2.5, yes. 1700, that is a mandatory 1700. Cool, so they are all good. That's interesting, because I haven't loaded the procedure, have I? So, departure, we are going to be using Compton 4 Yankee. And let's have a look at the heights for this. So, 70 Hotel, above 7, yes. So that's Bovingdon 8. Hotel is the 8th letter. That's at 3. John's at 3. Adrug is at 4. As is Henton, which they are all in the database, but what they are not is tunable. So you can't use them conventionally over here. You can in the real ones, I think it isn't. Is it an option? Anyway, so fine. So flight plan done. Interesting that that's so offset. So is there anything to do? No, the packs can be sat down. So we'll just get the airplane started up in a moment. There's still nobody online to talk to. Look, just double check the wind. 090 at 12, Cav OK, 16 minus 3, 028. Go. That's set. There's nobody to clear us, so we are going to clear ourselves to 5, and then once we get to Hinton, see how we get on. Get the speed up as well. It's a bit of a long way out, to be fair. So, anything else to do? Runway heading is 250. Just about see that. So just sort my desk out. We've got, well, I have got flight plan on side, iPad with charts, abbreviated checklist. There we go. So 14:30, we're a little bit late on that, but we should be off in 10 minutes. So let's crack on. Get a move on, shall we? Like I said, we had 806 on board. Let's get the door shut. Switch over to Unicom. And run through the before start. So quick scan around this way. Hydraulic pumps can come on. Still feels weird to me not putting the window heating on all the time. Off vent fans are on. Throttle levers are idle. Ignition's off for both. Flaps up, closed speed brake, parking brake set, and the door is closed. So, only the beacon. We can pop the transponder on. We call up request engine start, and we should be all clear. So we then signal to ground crew start engine 2. And then let's get the show on the road. So it's 1438.
Is there any aircraft flying over 09 left? I'm 24 miles off. I'm at least 10 minutes. I'll take L147. Okay, no worries then. It's 826 taking off on way 09 left.
Okay, we'll just pause the Unicorn Chaos at Heathrow for a moment. So, engine number 1 is stable. Let's disconnect. Give the signals to do all of that. And we will then start up engine number 1. Just so you can see, there it is. And I like how you can see the N1 drop. And how quickly the temps come down, it's just crazy. These teeny little jet engines, and they are pretty efficient as well, aren't they? So just wait for the oil temp to come up as we do the after starts. The GPU is disconnected. Correct. Elec emergency is pushed out, and it's our voltage. We've got greater than 23.5. Stall protection we have tested. Takeoff data is set. Trim. Takeoff is set. Flight controls. All free, correct movement, and like I say, I've just opened the speed brakes. They should stay closed, but there should be a caution. Flaps 1 for takeoff, 1 set. Ice protection isn't required. And there we go, that's us. Ready to taxi. 40, the off blocks, and we've got 799. Go over to Unicorn. Full thought traffic, Ascot 1501, taxiing from South Apron via Delta, hold short Bravo 125. Full thought traffic. So you don't normally do the before and after in the UK, but I like to do it just because, well, it can't hurt on VATSIM. So, clear left, clear right. Brake does come off with the brakes. I was using the toe brakes there. And we can set the ECS to both. And I managed to have the pneumatic cross bleed off. There we go, so well done those cautions. I sure as hell need them. get some nice cinematic shots. Screwing up the taxi. I haven't done much with the lines or anything. So yeah, still a lot of work to do here. Norfolk traffic, Ascot 1501, crossing 25 Bravo to Alpha. So should put the strobes on for that. Speed back a bit.
Approaching 25.
So even on the gateway one, this wasn't here, not the loop anyway. So I've done that and I've done these markings. I think you can see they're a little bit better. Taxiway is lit. It is a bit uphill in real life. Is it this uphill? Sure. I have to put some grass textures down because this is all a bit sad, isn't it? Sad and blurry.
Heathrow traffic, KLM 147, 10 mile final, runway 09 left.
Really does struggle going up the old hills. Oh, I said the markings were better. That doesn't look that good though, does it? Finish this bit. Oh well. Nobody died. You can also backtrack. If I just wanted to see how this looked, put some fencing in. Hopefully I can put the gas station in. There is a petrol station up here. The Barrow minimums. Yeah, I tell you what, as you saw yesterday, mate, if you're doing an SRA or anything like that, I wish they showed up full stop.
Approaching 25.
So let's get all the lights on.
Heathrow traffic, Skipper 346, stand 509, pushing back.
Yeah, I wish they showed up.
Traffic, Skipper 756, stand 515, pushing back to station 1.
I wish they showed up.
Heathrow traffic, KLM 147, 5 mile final, runway 09 left.
I wish you could set these to show at, even if you're not flying an approach, or not flying an approach that's in the database, you know, visual minimums for instance. You could set yourself 500 foot as your landing gate. Never mind. Put these marks in. This should be relatively accurate. I'll stop on the runway in a moment. It's using Ortho. And in reality, aeroplanes do sit on the runway waiting for clearance to fit in with all the Heathrow traffic anyway, so I do need to have a look at the radar.
On runway
Try to get the markings
5.
right on the opposite side of the arrows here, of the centre line, because that's what they do in reality. And that's an engineered arresting bed that we probably need to put a decent fence up along here. That's a petrol station in reality. Those markings should be relatively accurate, probably with some tracing. So if you can do it via the PFD, I couldn't figure out how to do it yesterday, but that doesn't mean it is impossible, that just means that I'm an idiot. So, flight director I think will already come on automatically. We're going to do VNAV, chart up and ready. Before takeoff, we need to check the takeoff config, gas checked, should have done the belts on the way out. Not that it actually matters. Your dampers off, protection off, packs advised, the lights on, transponder out. Why are we doing 25 if they're all going
On runway 25. On runway 25.
09? Because I'm being dense. That's why. Okay.
Heathrow traffic, Speedbird 192 is taxiing runway 09 left via Bravo.
Okay. I'm just going to be a rebel with a tailwind today. Whatever. Yeah, alright, we'll check that out next time. Like I say, what I don't know is a lot. So, it is 14:48 Zulu. We have got 774 on board. Brakes off.
Takeoff. Okay.
Let's go. Yeah, there's about 50%. Take off to the max. So approaching V1. Hand off V1. Rotate. Come onto the aeroplane. Up we go. Bit twitchy. Okay, we'll maintain about 130. Positive rate gear up.
Clear traffic, runway 9 left, vacated.
Get a little bit higher. Oh, I did do Toga, did I? There you go. So, GPS nav. Should have started that turn earlier. Let's come back to climb. Flight level change. And flaps up.
Eastway traffic, speedbird 346, taxiing Alpha Bravo 135 Alpha.
There you go, climb rate's already pretty good. So gear up, flaps up. That was a bit of a mess. Yaw damper and autopilot are on. Thrust levers continuous. Pressurization, the aeroplane is pressurizing. Altimeters, it's 6,000 in the London TMA. What I'm actually going to do. Oh, had I not come back to climb? No, we're still in climb thrust. Let's come back to. There's cruise. There's cruise. And we'll have a look at the radar in a moment. Ice protection as required. External lights all on. We don't want to do.
Heathrow traffic speedbird.
Go much faster than 225.
Departure. Heathrow.
There's Chilton. Nice view out the window. Not the best departure. There's Denham. So, is anybody about? We're going to be heading over towards Henton. Looks like it's going in towards Heathrow, to Bovingdon. So, our cruise was 200, which I thought was pretty high, but we'll see what we can get away with. There is climb. It's going to be a little bit aggressive to go back to 226. Standard, standard. There you go. Now, if it was ATC and relatively quiet, you know what? We'll probably go direct to Compton. Oh well, let's go the long way. Forget we are very light. So, already approaching 10. Cabin's climbing, steady. Landing field is correct. Passing 100. Lights off. Bumpy, so we can let the packs out. There we are, overhead, head 10 NDB, bottom down here. $250 below 10, so absolutely happy with this, and we should just be inbound Compton. So it does take you quite a long way out. I'm sure a lot of them do get directs to Compton. And our cruise today 065. Oh, max thrust. Oh gosh, yes, that is an easy mistake to make. What I haven't tried doing on the Warthog is flipping the afterburner detent and then seeing if I can match that up, because that would be good. Actually getting to a detent at Toga before going to max. I suppose it wouldn't be that much of a drama for any other aircraft, because you just reset to where the 100, maybe whatever. .8 max cruise. Let's see what that does for us. Set 0.65, I said, didn't I? Let's see if the airplane gets up to that max cruise. Oh, okay, yeah, well, it has got that extra reserve power. So none of those are going to give us. That's the interesting thing about top of the set. You know, we're at 200, 20 miles. So 20 miles from the airway to there really isn't enough. How much extra does this give us? So 5, 10, 50. How far is that? Is that 12.8 from MALBY? We need to be starting our descent. What do we reckon? That's really useful to know. Yeah, I've got a lot more to learn about this thing. Speed's creeping up. If I set as if we were going to be doing a visual. That has helped, hasn't it? Because that's given us a top of descent. Here we are overhead. Oops, let's bomber descent. Should have started descending already. Oh well. So let's take ourselves down. We're going evens. Let me head down to 10. We haven't even got to cruise yet. Not quite sure what SimBrief was thinking. I did think that something like 12 or 14 would be more sensible. So for the descent. That. And then I'll try and get flight level change at 275. Is. I'm going to put the seatbelts back on already. Don't know where this guy's going. He's gone from Heathrow to where? Going to Belfast. He's going the wrong way for Belfast. Let's go throttle to idle. Not too worried exactly about the Phenom profile. So 1508 Cav OK, temperature 80, QH1026. I'm going to set that up here just because I can hit standard very quickly. How often do we use the standby? I'll leave that 10 so we get a warning. We're not going to be going. There you go. You can see where we are going to be going. We're going to go direct. So I thought that was a nicer arrival rather than doing like the procedure outbound. So we'll level at 10, come back to 240, maybe a bit less actually. Start descending inbound. So match heading. There is 10. So I'm happy to let the aeroplane level off. Lights on slightly early. So let's go DDR4 initially. That'll do. So 40 seconds to MALBY. I'll activate the approach in a moment. Approach briefing. Straight out and round. Hopefully we'll get some VNAV. Landing data set, windshield heat. For some reason that goes on during the descent. Signs out that ice protection as required, so let's enter that. Level change, there we are. Down nice and gradual. Just approaches straight ahead to 2,800 speeds on any of this. Procedure is outside controlled airspace, that's fine. Moon set. Airplane is still at 6.6. Transition altitude is 3,000 under the London TMA, so quite low. So continue down to 3, set 1026. We're the only arrival, by the looks of things. Literally nobody around. Scenery is looking quite nice. I can't remember if this is like sim level 18 over here, Bristol way. So VNAV is looking like it's starting to come back in. Could be wrong. Now over the Bristol Channel. So what I am going to do is get the speed brake out, start bringing that speed back. You're still a bit high. KMLU, where's that, buddy? One day I might do a bit more US flying again, because that was fun last time, wasn't it? Well, a while back. 180 back on profile. VNAV slowing. If we captured, we should have. Bit of power so we don't get too slow. So coming down to 3, we've got a minute to go, 2.9 miles. Lots of traffic, Ascot 1501, passing altitude 3,500, descending altitude 3,000, bound SOSAB for the RMP runway 09, SOSAB in a half minute. Cool. SE radio, but whatever, nobody cares. Let's go down to 2.5. Speed come back as well, the aeroplane will level off, turn. I really don't like how it does level off. I'm sure the real one doesn't do that. I'm sort of reluctant to do this. 026 is set on both. EA is set. Crossfeed is off. Still lights set all on. Signs set. And time to advise the packs. So I just don't. You've got to be at, but it's such a long level segment. It's just not very smooth. I'd like to think that the real aeroplane doesn't do that. So it is RMP, simply LNAV. That's why the minimums are quite high. Throttle's coming all the way back, going down to 2.5. And then it'll be a mandatory 1700 for the final approach. Terrain's looking good. Two and a half we've got. $17 we will have in a moment. And I'm going to go one stage of flap. Try and maintain about 150. Flap one set. There's the runway. So there we go. LNAV plus V, yes, that's what I was expecting. So if we arm approach, we have vertical guidance. It's not a glide path, well it's a glide path, it's LNAV plus V. So that's just keeping us going down at 3. Didn't see anywhere to check that, but that could just be because I'm an idiot. Gloucester traffic, Ascot 1501, overhead Bravo Juliet 09, Foxtrot RMP, runway 09. Oh no, we're not, are we? We've just left. Whatever. Bring that power all the way back just to stop the speed running away. Nice if I knew how far out we were. Like you say, the cumulative distance is useful. So we are on the GP. So 28 is the mist. There we go. Overhead 09 Foxtrot 1700. Throw the gear down, give us a bit of extra drag. It's worked. Don't want to get too slow. So we'll aim for 130. go. Low on one, fine on the other.
Flaps. Flaps.
And there we go. Gear down. Flap 3 set. Did leave that a little bit late. And 115 for VREF plus 5. Is that right? No, 114.
Approaching 09.
Autopilot.
So the airplane does
500.
to drift. And if it's just my controls, it does have a tendency to roll.
Minimums.
Continue. All in all, that wasn't that bad. Just got to get a decent landing out of it now. Could probably do with exclusion for these trees, although I am a little bit low.
200. 100.
Oh, we're going to be really deep.
3,000 feet remaining.
Spoilers are deployed. Trying to use the brakes relatively gingerly. It's quite difficult to tell how effective they are. Let's get the flaps up.
Approaching 2.
We want to cross that, and I think we want to vacate up here on the right. It's actually quite a busy and complex little airport, Gloucester. So I was a bit unnecessarily keen. I thought I wanted to vacate there, but should have known it was a bit further down. Didn't need to be that harsh on the brakes. Told you I wouldn't make the stated 743 meters. So that's gone to on, which is great. And I think we're just going to go somewhere over here. Lots of traffic, Ascot 150109, runway 09 vacated. Flaps and speed brake up, closed. External lights as required, ice protection is off, heaters can come off. Cabin pressure, diff pressure is 0. Dump it. And shall we see if we can find somewhere to park? How about one of these? I know that's not the best way to do it. Do it right, go that way round. So, welcome to Gloucester. It's been quite a few years since I've been here in real life. Have we got enough clearance? Baggage guys who are clearly just sat down doing nothing. Yes, we have. There we go. So, brake set. Engines are still running, so we've got to pop autopilot out in a moment. Maps and everything else are up. So let's turn off Shutdown is pretty simple, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you what we can do is we can open the door. Go and do the fuel in a moment. Connect up the GPU. There we go, we've got power, which is good. So, effectively for a transit, since I haven't done one yet, it's a bit different. So we've landed with 556. Didn't use any of the timers. projectFLY landing was 128 feet a minute. Sorry, we're not going to have a replay until the end, but that's alright, I'll take that. Next flight. projectFLY is running. Active sky, I need to load. To London City. So that's that one done. We need to disconnect from VATSIM in a moment, but what I do need to do is pre-file the plan. The ASCOT 1502 on the way back. So flight plan is done. Turn the fans down just to quieten it down for you guys. Good, it knows where we are. Trips reset. So I think I've done everything I need to. Flight plan, projectFLY, active sky. So just X-Pilot now. So disconnect off of that. Reconnect. That's me getting the flight plan off the server. And submitting it. Still no ATC, so that's fine. That doesn't seem as loud. Oh, my parking's not great though, is it? But let's have a little look around the airport, and I'm not going to do the whole full turnaround time. I'm trying to think where the terminal is. I don't know if I parked over here somewhere and then walked across, or if I parked over near the tower. Either way, it is a busy little place. Somebody's done a bit of effort here. Maybe this is the terminal over here. And then somebody ran my sheet over to the tower, who signed it in. He said apparently it was good, and apparently they never say good. They didn't say it was very good. They just said the approach, landing, and everything else was good. Take that. Speed select we don't need to really worry about. So let's load up the charts for the next leg into London City. Let's load our payload as well. So 5 packs, 100 kilos of bags. 595. go, that'll do. So we reckon 598. Go. So 555 and our fuel is 1388, so we'll call it 14. Good. So we are going to be going all the way around the London TMA. Are there any other ways? Oh, BADIM is on a different airway, isn't it? So London City has got some interesting arrivals. Takes us all the way out over the Thames estuary. Then transitions and arrivals all the way in. There we go. Closed, set. Of course, the refueler would be doing that. There are no SIDs for Gloucester, I don't think. Mags open, GPU, shed bus, and it's fine, good. So, $16.26. Oh yeah, I guess you can do it that way, can't you? What is the clock? What I would call wrong. Just seems odd that it does it in Monroe. Well, sounds nice. Maybe we'll check it out. I don't know if I've got Ortho. I need to look at all my American Ortho again. Make sure I've got it all. I'd love to do some flying in the States, I really would. Anyway, let's plan our leg back. Times were 16:55 out. We're probably not going to need that long. And 16:10 Zulu, 17:10 off. I'm going to go for a toilet break once I've done the flight planning. We've got 1401 on board. So we are going to BADIM. X63 to KENET. Then we're going direct SILVA anyway. I've been better off just going the other way. Although I think we've got to go all the way out over the Thames estuary anyway. Maybe we can take a shortcut onto one of the transitions. What's the weather like at the city? 09013, yes, no cloud detected, automatic, so 028, yeah, will be 09. Okay, so X63 to KENET. Then we are going direct to SILVA. UK, Venezuela, Japan or Hong Kong. I think we'll go to that one, please. NEGLC. So it's going to be the Silver One Charlie. Yep. See how far out that takes you. All the way around the top of the CMA. Yeah, but small airport, regional jets only in the US is not really a small at all. You know, I fly in this country from something that has 2,000 feet of grass. You know, we don't have, you know, the 5,000 foot small runway. What did I say Gloucester was? I'll have a look at it. We're going to need a transition, which is odd leg, and then 09 is a locator approach to the ILS, which is weird. Airport briefing, we'll have a look at parking. Visual approach profile we won't look at. So 1600 takes you only 500 something feet over the Shard. So Gloucester here, where we landed, did I say it was? $4,695, and this is a relatively big airfield in this country. Not big, but you know, it's paved, it's got approaches. Yeah. So radar minimum, there's been no departures. Noise abatement. Straight ahead to 14 before turning. Fine. BADIM is behind us. Yeah, exactly. 5,000 foot of tarmac in this country is not overly small. So, yeah, right. How do I do a transition? The Jacko. SOSAB A. I don't have a SOSAB. Oh no, maybe I do. No, that is odd leg. Okay, that's interesting. London City. IOS09. So, 1 Golf and 1 Juliet, what's the difference? One Juliet is from Jacko, fine, can deal with that. Okay, that looks fine. Get a long downwind. We're happy. Why has it done that? Why did it just zoom out like that? I find that odd. But so we're going all the way around and then coming in like this. Oh gosh, there's a point merge out there. Okay. I think we'll go to barbecue here and then straight that way. Yeah, okay, we'll definitely do that. 11115. Shoot now. And the minimums for the ILS category B 431. So 440. Step through all that guff, shall we? So Jacko at 9. Yes, let's accept that. So you see how far out it takes us. I think we will want to go direct to Ravsa. Legs should be at 2 or that. Okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah. 2,000 feet, yes. There's the procedure, fine. And we've got nothing for our departure, so that's effectively it for us. We're going direct to BADIM. We should be flight level 140 and then 150 BADIM. Okay, I find that a bit odd. I suppose we are going back on ourselves, aren't we? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to set that because there's nothing out here to stop us. And I'm going to leave you with the outside view before I go for a quick toilet break. And then we're going to come back in and get going. Like I said, we are still relatively early. And then we'll be on our way. Right, so as we've got the bags loaded, so we can shut the door. It's a pretty cool looking jet, isn't it? So let's have a read of. There aren't any departure charts, are there? We're going to have tons of runway available with our weights. So I said that we had 1401. Was our fuel. Plus 6098. 7.5 takeoff weight. So let's have a look at our takeoff data, shall we? Flap 1, dry runway, pressure out. Get the hang of this one day. As you can see, pressure out is quite low. It's 250. So we'll take the sea level pressure altitude. Flap 1. And 7.5 we've got for 7.6, and the outside air is 18, so we'll go 20. Gives us 978 meters at 1431, so it's more than acceptable. And don't forget, I am overestimating. 104, 115, and 32. Four, 115, 32. And for landing, we are going to take a bit of a shortcut, so I think we are going to use slightly less fuel. So I'm going to call it, ignoring the taxi, let's say we're going to use, it's 583 for the 53 beds. Let's call it 400. Which takes it down to 7 point. Might be some 7.2 for the landing. So if anything, we're only going to be a little bit fast. So for landing, and I'm only doing this on the ground just because I suppose we could update later on, couldn't we? Just double check to see that we're not that far off. Flap 1 and 3. It's going to give us 7. 28. 114. The distance required, unfactored, ice protection off, 0 wind, I think we're going to have 10 knots, but I'll call it 0, 773. And London City has got 1500, so we're easily going to be well within. So 117. 28. 4. All unfactored, of course. So you should multiply those, multiply the takeoff by 1.33 and 1.43. Give you your distances, which actually is probably quite accurate, seeing as you saw how much runway I chewed up with my unfactored ability. So, baggage shut, GPU's on. Let's get a show on the road, shall we? think there's anything else to do apart from noise abatement. We're going to be straight ahead to 14 and then turn. That's fine. Are we 09 still? Uh, 140 at 7. Yes, in reality, I don't think we take runway 18. Don't even know if it's available anymore. So a bit of a crosswind, but we take taxiing out Charlie way. Which is fine, I can deal with that. And the runway heading is 085. Just about to see that. Okay, good. So still nobody to talk to. Let's get the fans back on. So oxygen's still on, batteries on, GPU is on. Ah, okay, yeah, they're all for dry. Well, if you don't have that, what you've got to do is you have to add your own factors. The CAA, UK, the equivalent of the FAA, do a really good handy leaflet for that. And if you Google Safety Sense leaflet performance, there's a really handy table, and it tells you how to do factors, so for takeoff and landing. And the tables have got the pressure, altitude, they've got the wind, but they also give you factors for that. They give you factors for weight, and a wet paved surface for takeoff is going to make no difference, but a wet paved surface for landing could increase your landing distance from 50 feet by 15%, so times it by 1.15, and because the data is all unfactored, times it again at the end once you've done everything by 1.43. So it does tailwind component, slope, wet paved surface, dry and wet grass, increase of 10 degrees C, increase of 1,000 feet, and increase of 10% EG passenger. And that's a really useful little quick cheat sheet. But yeah, so for wet, it's not going to help, although in reality you should be increasing your wind speed for wet because of stopping. In reality, I think the manual would have the factors to use, and for landing, additional 15%. So I hope that's answered your question, buddy. So pneumatic, I'm going to put to auto. Cross bleed is auto. The pumps can come on. Belts on. So we're getting ready to go. Auto, off, stop, auto. Idle up, flaps up, parking brake set. Off vent. I suppose we should do something fuel like a reset, shouldn't we? But use 253 6. Scribbling that down on the old one. I forgot how to do that. Oh, better. Reset fuel. Go. Managed it. So we've got enough to start. Doors open, so let's get that shut. Speeds we've done, we've loaded up. GPU connected, shed bus off, fine, check precautions. Nav lights are still on, those are still armed. So we should be good to go. We'll check the QNH again. 026, 1026. I'm not going to call up on the radio because there's nobody to talk to, but of course we would in reality. Don't even know what stand we're on because there's no parking chart. We would signal to the ground crew for start engine number 2. We've got 1401 on board. It's 1548. Start engine number 2. it is, coming back nicely. Stable, running. So we would get the ground crew to disconnect. Oh no. What I would do is disconnect on the bus first. It'd be really nice to have the ground crew saunter out to the front to do it. And we'll start up engine number 1. It is set, stabilising. Turn come up, cabin out is current, landing field is 19 feet. Electric's all good. All running. So ECS on both. Quick panel scan again, and the Ultrastar GPU is disconnected. Emergency is pushed out and got 23 volts, 23.5. Stop protection. I've got the test again. Takeoff data set. Trims all set neutral. Flight controls. I am checking them. I just haven't. Click the yoke to show. Ice protection required. Map set 1. So that's done and ready, so lights on, transponder on, clear left, clear right, and we are going to taxi forward to Alpha, follow Alpha all the way down, backtrack the runway 36 a little bit, and then follow Bravo and Charlie around. Lost the traffic. Ascot 1502 taxiing from apron Alpha via Alpha, runway 18 Bravo, Charlie, holding short runway 09. Lost the traffic. So clear to the left, clear to the right. Brake is off. And we're off blocks at 15:41 with 2 kilos. And we just got to go over there, kind of. So Alpha 2 is here, and then we can swing a left. There you go, you see that? It's not very clear. So it was a busy old place. So this is Alpha, we'll take it all the way down, hang a right, hang an immediate left. See pretty tiny taxiways. You're not getting a 7.3 down these. There are hangars absolutely everywhere. This probably isn't that incorrect. I just don't remember that well. So we're going to take off 1400, right turn to get ourselves direct to the airway 109. We'll have a look at the traffic. Maybe we should just go straight back to MALBY or Siren. So this is Alpha 3. What's the traffic? That's got 1502 entering backtrack runway 36.
Approaching 36. On runway 18, 100 feet remaining.
So 04 we're going to cross. What's the traffic? Ascot 1502 crossing threshold runways.
Approaching 04.
So takeoff wise.
Takeoff. Okay.
A holding point down here. So correct runway this time, 09. Brakes are set. I said straight ahead, 1400. Do a right turn. Go direct to one of the points on the airway. Let's have a look at the radar, see if there's what. So still no ATC. The real question is, do we want to go all the way around London, or do we want to do a dirty dive straight in? We could skip out all of that arrival, probably get in the way of the Heathrow stuff, but there isn't actually that much traffic about. So they give us. So where are these guys inbound to? Got a few coming into Heathrow. One departure from City and us as one arrival. So do we want to cut out? It's in effect long way round. Do we want to go SILVA straight into the ILS? Instead of doing the whole transition, Jacko. It's a long old transition, that. What do you reckon? Whole thing? Makes the flight significantly longer. go straight in. So why don't we follow? We'll go direct to SILVA. And when we get to Barkway, so we'll go SILVA, Bombo, so that's all kind of a... Let's have a think when we get, once we get near SILVA, we can probably make a beeline straight for final approach. And cut out a huge waste of time, because it isn't that busy. Unless of course anybody comes online, by which point it's too late. Take a shortcut, okay, Bookie, yeah. Good. One vote, one carried. Okay, so before takeoff signs on, your damper is off. Ice protection not required. Throttle. It says green, but I don't think I can check that it's green. Packs advised. Signs set. External lights as required. So let's pop those on. I'm definitely good to go. Trim is set. Flaps are set 1. And transponder put on out. And altimeter's ready for departure. Lost the traffic, Ascot 1502. Lining up, taking off runway 09. Brakes off. Max thrust. No, I'm not max thrust. I like how you get the little dirty bits of smoke. The power check. Thud. It'd be nice if we had the effects of thud.
Approaching 09.
So we can do a cheeky left turn. Use all of the runway.
On runway
Why wouldn't you?
200 feet remaining.
Nothing for the wings to hit down here. Useless things in aviation, fuel in the Bowser. Runway behind you. Altitude above you. F4 set on the taxiway there. Don't know if that's real. So it's been a long time since I've been here.
On runway 09.
I just don't want to blow the flaps. So let's get some power on. It is 16:01. We're a little bit early, and we've got 13:56 on board. Power. Toga. I'm not going to play with the stopwatch. At least I've done Toga this time. I can use it if I need it. You can tell we're heavier. Bit of wind. V1. Rotate. One stick aeroplane. Positive rate. Gear up. Something sensible.
Minimums.
The minimum twice is a bit odd. There's the aeroplane accelerating nicely. Turn. Let's go something like 150 initially. Flaps up. Flaps are up. So passing 3 onto standard. That was a bit better departure, wasn't it? We are still next climb. to take off, landing gear up, flaps are up, damper is on, levers, max continuous. There we go, 87.1 is the max. We're going up to 140 pressurization, the airplane is pressurizing. See that the it is increasing, but the rate's only 500 feet a minute. Speed is checked, noise protection is not required, lights all on. So let's go. No. So where are we? I think we are going direct B. Let's speed on, shall we? I really don't think it would drop. I keep saying on the forums that it would. I don't think the flight director system will allow that. Still nobody to talk to. So let's take our shortcut in a minute. But that's looking alright. Airplane's climbing nicely. Happy on the climb speed. Our cruise today was meant to be 061. Let's get 100, lights off. Seatbelts off. To go. Five set into course, so I will have to do that. Checked. And out require is armed. Out select. Out hold. The 6.1 might be a little bit high. So I think we'll go 275, 280. Yeah. And then when you have a look at this, you can see where KENET is, you can see where SILVA is. Let's just follow that round. And then do a direct. A lot of traffic over Heathrow, so yeah, if we get to KENET, which is over here, and then SILVA, which is over here somewhere, get out of the way a little bit. It's because there's a lot of traffic on the ground at Heathrow. God, it's chaos. Chaos on VATSIM. Oh, I didn't do the project fly. No, complete fly, I don't need to, that's fine, that is running. Sure. Phew, that was a worry. Well, what I haven't done is put the overlay on for you guys. So 275, 280. Let's see if we can make a straight in. What's that going to give us weight-wise? We had 598. Got board plus 200. I did the performance for 7.2, and we're only about 100 kilos off of that now. Right now we're 7310, which fuel do we actually burn? So we'll lose 100 kilos in 10 minutes easily. So 7.2 sounds good to me. And the real question is, can we get in? We should have been on an odd by the time we got to BADIM, shouldn't we? So let's go down. Let's do 500 so we don't get too fast. Does CSC work? Guess not. Look at that. That is definitely better than FSX. It's just a lot crisper. Is this 17 or 18? I can't remember. Yes, we need lighting effects that are a bit better. Airfield is that. Again, look. We're in place for an airfield. So we've got 4 minutes. Northolt Heathrow City's over here, so I think go straight over the top like that, keep out of the way of Heathrow-ish. There's going to be departures coming out on there, which is why this is really like that. The departures from Heathrow go out this way, but we'll figure it out. Okay, thanks buddy. That makes sense. Makes sense entirely. Because it is a very basic. So, heading select, it's select the approach. In a moment, after the first set of flap, what was it? Because flap 2 is exactly, 2 and 3 are exactly the same, except 2 is for takeoff. So it's just a system D10. Those are both the same. So you've effectively got takeoff 1, takeoff 2. Land 1, land 2. I'm glad you got it though. I mean, it is a really good bit of kit for its payback. Bring speed back to about 250. Bring it back to 220 actually. Disable that. Keep the power on. I don't want to slow down too much. So 1028. Put this up here just to remind me. I know you don't do it in reality, but it's a lot easier.
Okay, so traffic state at 42110 in Basel with 0 nano left.
heading just east initially. Benson, Chargrove, Aylesbury Tame, which I don't think is there anymore. Big old patch of grass that's gone and disappeared. So once we start this turn, then I will turn, activate, and then see how we're doing. Approach-wise, Phenom will hopefully kick in, give us something to play with. Departure and arrivals wise. Oh, it's Silva Westcott. Why did I not know that? It's not far off Westcott, is it? What's that pointing to? Bovington. There's east. Let's head something towards Bovington. So, heading. Activate approach. Where's that taking us? No, don't actually want that. Final. Oh, that hasn't worked, has it? Go, that has. So why? Why oh why is now that far off? That's really weird. Start bringing the speed back. That hasn't worked, has it? Come down to 10. There we go. Isn't that weird? Vectors to final. Yeah, it should take you straight to the final approach fix. Should. So let's head down to 6. Just about making that. Yeah, so what I was expecting it to do was exactly that. So I mean, it was doing what I thought it was going to do. It just wasn't working, so at least we got there in the end. As for VNAV, we are going to be intercepting because the target is there. BS required is 16. A little bit high, and we've got some speed to bleed off, but I haven't got the speed breaking out yet. Passing 10, lights on, passenger seats, belts and everything are on. I've got the approach chart up, we are heading straight inbound. Gonna go
so traffic
Heading for the
110
moment.
left ahead.
The localizer course is 092. Back to nav, GPS. Charlie Foxtrot 09, that's 5 miles out. It's a level 2000, which is good. Straight over Bovingdon. Any traffic about? It's kind of not bad actually for a straight line.
Speedbird 521, taxiing stand 508 via Alpha. Heathrow traffic.
I would make radio calls, but there's not really much point. It's not going to help anybody. Don't know why the windshield heat goes on now, fuel cross feeds off.
Heathrow traffic, I'm on for 7, we'll be holding that after Bravo 10 for the part in traffic, I'm on for 7.
Go down to 21028.
We're on assembly departure, the May 2 kilo departure, Kilo 147.
Cool. Just figuring out what spacing I need from you.
So that looks like VNAV. Oh, it's a bit violent. Happy to let the speed come back. I think I'm getting the hang of this, guys. What do you reckon? Still not perfect, but it's not bad. See the city ahead of us.
Heathrow traffic, Kilo 147 lining up runway 911.
We can carry a little bit of speed in because we are going to be going down to a platform. How's the old frame rate doing? Don't forget I've got shadows on, ground scenery, and the frame rate is holding pretty good. The CPU upgrade is definitely working. Meant to be the BT tower. See some pools. That's meant to be the Shard, isn't it? I hope things get a bit more realistic the closer we get. Okay, so I'm going to throttle back now and start bringing the speed back.
Heathrow traffic, Kilo 147 departing 09 left, May 2 kilo departure. Yep, please come by the 09 and that's
Oh, there's the gherkin, that's looking more realistic.
Yes.
Yes. Affirmative, as we say.
Shot 90,
Affirm.
range of search now.
Pardon?
What's your range of search now, shot 90?
4 miles.
Cool, speed at 9954, line of our Alpha Bravo 13 after the landing, 320.
So spoilers are closed. Bit too slow. Still on VNAV, we are going to level off. India Lima Sierra Tango, tuned, identified. 2000, I think I missed the altitude alert. That should be the shard, it doesn't look it, but it should be. Tower Bridge. There is London. So the missed approach is straight ahead to 2. Be intercepting at 3.4, it's very steep. So we're going to want to be configured. Gear coming down. Flap 1. Equalizer alive. West left armed. Flap 2. We'll start descending in about 30 seconds. So we want to be configured because it is a steep approach. Lap 3, gear down. I'm on 4, so we want a little bit additional. Glide slope arrived. London City traffic, Ascot 150 to final ILS 09 audio. Power off. Let's check was whether or not the approach can be flown. It's pretty steep. Maybe it did need full flap. No, there we go. I don't think it's going to need much power. So this on the ground. Pretty sure I've got scenery off. It irritates me when there's no stands available. Some scenery designer has put a load of junk there. Yeah, one hell of an angle. If you look at the chart, it is how steep is it? Well steep, like 5 and a bit degrees. So this aeroplane's holding it well.
Lufthansa 582 heavy entering a.
Can't be dealing with that.
Approaching 09.
Autopilot.
5.5 degrees is what it is.
500.
See, I haven't touched anything.
400.
Lift it off. Let's pick it up with a bit of rudder. Cheeky.
300. 200. 100. Glide slope.
Right. Well, we've definitely got a flare here. Oh, it's definitely
3,000 feet remaining.
It's definitely not that much of a hump in reality, I don't think.
2,000 remaining.
That may have ruined the touchdown rate. Here's a little turning pad. Not that we need it. I think this used to be the end of the runway before they extended it, so it is relatively short.
On runway 27.
London City traffic. London City traffic has got 1501. Backtrack runway 09. Was it nice? We'll have a look at the replay for both of them. Oh, that was landing vertical speed of 99 feet a minute, but don't forget we were probably going up a little bit. And it wasn't that great because we were floating, so like I said, I wasn't expecting this hump. And I will check my graphics settings because I do not want static aircraft. It irritates me when scenery designers put static aircraft but that can't be turned off by the sim. Script. Yeah, you know what I mean. I could get the plugin, but I like to try and have as few plugins as possible. But why not? I'm getting it on projectFLY anyway, so like I say, I'm not aiming for butter, but what I am aiming for is something semi-decent. So this is Echo. Oh, this is not updated. We should have been able to vacate further down actually. So maybe this airport needs some work. Maybe I can work on this airport. Just delete these stupid aeroplanes here. What is the point, if you fly online, of having no stands available? Because these guys are, they're not real users. London City traffic, Ascot 1502, vacated. Yeah, this has all been filled in by the looks of things. What I don't like is that the transponder went off. We're going to go to the jet center, which is all the way down the NGA apron. Well, this isn't too bad, this looks pretty accurate. But you can go all the way down now. You don't have to backtrack on the runway, which is pretty big. It's not off, is it? XE, that's what. Off. Sponder's still on. Cabin diff was empty anyway. But yeah, we should see Canary Wharf and stuff here, so those buildings need an update. We've got the Gherkin, but we don't have ones that sort of matter here, which is a shame. I don't really want to buy any scenery. But yeah, I will get the landing ring plug-in. I will get rid of these aeroplanes. So this scenery is just the default X-plane stuff. Oh no, I tell a lie, I've got X-Europe as well, but there's London landmarks, which I think is overlaid as well. But that's just default X-plane, but there are definitely some very distinctive buildings that are missing from here. Maybe there is a freeware pack, I don't have to pay for it. I don't mind paying for things, but there should be some very tall buildings here, which is why the approach is so steep. It looked kind of like that when we were coming in, but they are actually quite big. So if you have a look at the London City charts, they are, you can see why. We're going all the way down here. I think we made quite a fuel saving by taking our dirty little shortcut, although ATC probably would have given us that anyway. Certainly at the moment in reality, but also on VATSIM when it's not that busy. Get the airplanes on the ground, get a bit like Tetris in an air traffic controller. So we're coming up to Whiskey, yes, GA apron's ahead. And it's actually quite a small little apron, and NetJets do operate this aircraft in and out of London City. It is a very popular aircraft. So let's get the taxi lights off. Don't know how you meant to get in here with a marshaller, I guess. and it is really this tight in reality. I think this thing can turn on the dime. Differential thrust as well, and I am only cheating by looking outside because we don't have marshallers. Oh, maybe you'd come the other way, I don't know. Not even using differential braking, so this is just full tiller. Differential thrust. That'll do us. Brake set. Just gonna let the engine settle down for a minute. Set, everything's up. On dump. Lights are still on. And the transponder can go to standby. It's even difficult for me to see, so I don't know. It's really bad for you guys. It looks like 1133 blocks at 1635 Zulu. Oh, that took a huge amount of flight time off. So let's turn off the jet. One's off. It's off. Turn it all off and then we'll look at the replay, and it doesn't matter if it looks a bit weird. So, like I said, 99 feet a minute, beat that flight, done. VATSIM we can disconnect from. Get rid of the overlay. Welcome to London City, guys. Somewhere different. I don't think we've flown in before, because it's, you can just about get a 7.3 in here, but not very well. Reflections are looking good. How much better does it look with the ground shadows on? I think it looks a lot better, and my CPU upgrade, I should have done that ages ago. So much better. So, like I say, there's City. Junk. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with whoever designed this. I like the arrows. I don't like the aeroplanes. So what have they got on the chart? I think they have built taxiway along here. They've actually built. Now, I don't know if you can do that. So I think this comes along here and then it goes like this. I don't know if you can do that in the scenery. Maybe that's why this hasn't been done. But whatever. Buildings wise, there's the Thames barrier. I've flown commercially into London City a couple of times. Over here, Canary Wharf and everything is here. These buildings should be much bigger and much more distinctive. So ex-Europe may well be overwriting those, which is a shame. Shard is very realistic. Graphic settings, yeah, sure, I can do that, and then we'll have a look at the replay. That's what mine are set at. And you see I've got draw parked aircraft off, and that's why it annoys me that I don't want to see those parked aircraft. I don't think that's unreasonable. My monitor settings should be 20 Hz. It always seems to default away from that. Field of view is quite wide because of the screen that I've got. And you can see there's not really much benefit to going to texture quality high. It just means they're not. You use the PNGs instead of the compressed ones, but the quality, I can't tell the difference. And I think the only thing is it might speed up the decompression by having the non-compressed textures. But what you do use then is a lot more graphics memory. So I could potentially get away with it because I've got an 8 gig card. I'm surprised it hasn't used much more, to be honest. I can't quite get objects from medium to high. It tanks the frame rate a bit. But that CPU upgrade has made a big difference. As you can see, the graphics card's not working hard. I would like to see a few more buildings, but I'm not sure I can quite manage it. That's actually a floating boat restaurant that I've been to. That's the this here is the Excel Centre. There should be a building there. And yeah, this is London. So let's have a look at the replays, shall we? I hope those graphic settings were useful for you. You've got my hardware in the description. Where's the jet? Over here somewhere? Probably not. Oh, there we are. Right, let's just run it backwards, shall we? Where should we watch it from? Obviously, this is the jet center. Interesting, some of the roads are missing. Maybe I need to... Oh no, maybe just ex-Europe just might not have these that well. Maybe there's exclusions or something. Yeah, you know what? I mean, that's the trouble, isn't it? But again, as long as it's got the, you know, the parking aircraft turns off. I think if you're going to use it, it's worthwhile, isn't it? It's a bit random, that one patch of grass. Oh no, that's see-through grass, isn't it? They haven't, whoever's done this on the gateway hasn't done that bad a job. Tell you what, we want to do it from about here, don't we? I think I was a little bit high. With the upslope as well, that's alright. I'll take that. Don't think it's that bad. But what do I know? That hump. 2 humps. At least there's no dramas with the taxiways like at Newcastle. Let's go back to Gloucester, shall we? Oh, this may work, this may crash. Should have paused it. I clicked it once, see how we get on. It might die. Sorry if it does, guys. Oh yeah, explains loading and receiving and stuff. Yeah, just a little bit deep, that landing. Maybe I wasn't that high, but it's difficult to tell, isn't it? Down that quick. I think maybe this is why I haven't done replays like this before. Sorry if it goes. Could just be loading in the background badly. I'll just mute the noise for a bit. I think the sim may have crashed though. Okay, I'll give it a minute or two. I should have gone back a bit further than this. I think it's dead. Apart from that, X-Plane has been okay, relatively stable apart from those dropouts with the TDRs, but I've turned that off completely now. Disabled TDR seems to have helped. So I think this has died. But thanks for watching, guys, and we're hopefully going to be off to Berlin later. So if the times will work, maybe 7:30 local time here, we'll do a 2-hour trip in this to Berlin and see what it's like when it stretches its legs for a change. So apologies, I've managed to screw the replay up. The reflections don't look too bad though, even though they're on minimal. I think the reflections look quite good. You don't often clearly get this close up, but they look a lot more realistic than some of the other scenery that can be a bit cartoony. It's better with the shadows on. Oh, here we go. No, it's done it. Great. So we just need to, it's taking a bit of time to load everything up, isn't it? Let's watch this landing, because this is the takeoff, isn't it? Yeah. What I don't want to do is click too far back. That wasn't a bad guess. I'll get the sound back on in a moment. I'll tell you what we could do. We could do it from like over here, couldn't we? Because yeah, okay. So the scenery's loaded up, so that's what takes the time. There we go. Let's watch it from about there. It's some audio about that. Again, a little bit deep. That wasn't bad either. You see, I'm just about getting the hang of this. And then, of course, the braking is a bit. What I'm considering doing is mapping both brakes to the switch. So I think that would be useful, just keeping it in a straight line. So I might think about doing that. I forget what landing rate that was, but again, that was 160, wasn't it? So I'll take that as well. So landing rate plug-in for later, hopefully a trip to Berlin. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. I hope the audio quality is better. I have tried, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Look after yourselves. Take care, and bye for now.